is Moreland, and I'm an area manager in the merchandise department. When I started at Kings Island, it was really just to have a part in the stewardship. I didn't really see this as a career. I really didn't. It was maybe a season or two just to kind of see what it was like, and I fell in love almost right away. A few years into it, as I progressed up through the ranks, it was more than a love. It was going to be my career. I had no idea. I started a little later than most do, but I knew pretty early on that it would be where I'd be for the rest of my working life anyway. To work at Kings Island, even when I was a young kid, this is where I wanted to be. I'd always been a little jealous of the people that were here year-round, and I was kind of a coaster geek, and more than that, kind of in love with Kings Island. I had been since I could walk, probably. But yeah, again, when I started, it wasn't really, hey, I'm going to spend my life here. It was just more of a, I'm going to spend the season here and kind of see this angle, what it has to offer. Really, I think it enhances it, and I tell a lot of my people, when you're not at work, take advantage of the park time. Be in the park. I don't think I could do this job as successfully if I didn't have that park time. I think I need the time to be out as a guest, be out with the guests, just remembering that it's a fun place to be. I think a lot of times we associate it with a job. And if we're not doing that, if we're doing that and we are having the fun aspect as well, it's a better experience. Again, I oversee the merchandise warehouse and a few of the stores out in the park. I also am in charge of ordering almost everything that's edible that merchandise sells, so all the candy product, Coca-Cola, that kind of thing. But my real love is the sweet spot on International Street. Back to front, side to side, top to bottom, it's pretty much my baby. So if it's not right, then I'm not a happy guy. But that's, anybody that knows me knows that sweet spot is we kind of share an identity at this point. I didn't actually apply for merchandise, but I was kind of pushed into merchandise and fell in love right away. At the ops level, yeah, when you are an ops supervisor, a lot of us were looking for full-time employment here. I didn't really want to leave merchandise, but I definitely didn't want to leave resale. I had contemplating a food position, that kind of thing, but it was honestly my boss, Steve Ryan, and even Carrie Hall. But Steve has been my mentor for about 10, 12 years. So I've kind of become a junior Steve in a lot of ways. It's what he knows about the park and the industry is kind of mind-boggling, and the things that he says, you just soak it up like a sponge. So yeah, working with Steve, working with Carrie, that's a huge part in why I was successful all of that time and stuck it out. It wasn't always easy. I'd say the last 3 years at the ops level, it's not always the easiest job to have. You want that full-time position. It's not necessarily there. Without them, I'm not sure I would have stuck it out. I'm glad I did, but I'm not sure I would have. The favorite part of the job for me is that it is Kings Island. There really is a love affair. That sounds hokey, and I know a lot of people say that, but that's really what brought me here, especially at a later age. But my favorite part of the job now would be interacting with our guests and with our associates and our soups. There are people I'll run into at the grocery store who are in med school now. They were 15 years old when I met them, and they'll thank me for the part that I played in their development. You can't put a price on that. It's their first job, and you've got to remember that. We get people who are really not experienced with anything, and they'll leave here as managers. So that's a very nice thing to be able to do.